What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. The PlayStation Portal is one of the most hated new next generation devices out there, especially if you browse on YouTube these days. But I was one of the first people that took to this thing and said, hey, maybe there's something to this device. And I pre-ordered it, got it day one, and I've been having a blast with mine personally. Now, as far as what this thing is supposedly able to do, most people looked at it as a device that could just relay information from the PlayStation 5 to it as a portable device and not do anything beyond streaming games directly from your PlayStation 5 to this PlayStation Portal. But a group of engineers over at Google have found a way to not just hack this thing, but hack it, add PPSSPP to it, and actually play games on it locally. Huh? Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for my full article breaking down all the information regarding this PlayStation Portal hack. And right now, I'm going to start off with the bad news. It is not publicly available yet. And that's typically how these things go, and eventually it finds its way out to the mainstream. It just is behind the curtains for a little bit before they just get itchy and say, all right, here it is, and put it on some open source site that everyone can download it from and set it up with. But here's the thing. Even if these Google engineers don't release the ability of how they were able to do it, chances are the modding community is going to be able to figure it out and replicate it somehow, some way, even if it doesn't use Google servers as the way the Google engineers did, in their own way to make it work locally on their own systems. So what exactly happened here? A group of engineers from Google have successfully hacked Sony's PlayStation Portal, enabling it to run PlayStation portable games directly on the device, which deviates pretty far from the PlayStation Portal's original design purpose, which is, let's face it, a streaming tool. And that was all it was ever meant to be. One of the key reasons that a lot of people hated this thing right out of the gate. The original setup meant that playing games away from the TV was possible from your PlayStation 5, but only through an internet connection, with no capability to play games directly on the device itself. And the reason for that was there was supposedly no onboard storage, so it was impossible to play games locally. It was impossible to add a memory card and have things load from it directly. There was nothing there. So how did they do it? The PlayStation Portal has been transformed to support offline play thanks to the efforts of Andy Nguyen, a researcher specializing in cloud vulnerabilities at Google, and people on his team. Their innovative approach had led to an installation of PPSSPP emulator on the PlayStation Portal, a software that enables PSP games to run natively on the device, bypassing the need for any internet connection. But here's what makes the hack so noteworthy. It runs at a software level, not a hardware level, meaning that this is something that once the information is out there on how to hack it, anyone can do. Nguyen made it clear in his tweets that he has no current intentions to make this hack publicly available at this time. And he emphasized the exploratory nature of what they do over at Google. The Portal, which operates on an Android-based system, is equipped with approximately 6 gigs of internal storage, which is far more than a lot of people thought initially. Now, that storage was supposedly meant for PlayStation Portal updates and information specifically from Sony so that it would be able to work alongside in conjunction with the PlayStation 5 in the future if there was any necessary updates to make it work directly with it for that reason specifically. But this hack unlocks new possibilities for the device, demonstrating its capability to offer more than just streaming services. And this was followed up by not just Andy Nguyen on the Google team, but Kalle Svensson, who said it's been so fun collaborating with the absolute god, the Flow Zero, on this project. Had a great time and learned a lot. And that was in response to the original tweet from Andy Nguyen, who thanked him, saying, "After more than a month of hard work, PPSSPP is running natively on PlayStation Portal. Yes, we hacked it with the help from XYZ and Zeta 2. So, while it is surprising, and actually it's a bit shocking that this thing was hacked, especially as quickly as it has been, shouldn't be too surprised. One, because the hacking community never ceases to amaze, and two, because of the origins of where this came from. Google engineers, they know quite a bit about how the back end of things work, especially when it comes to Google's Android operating system. So I'm going to assume they knew quite a bit about how this all worked on the back end, and that gave them a jump start on how to hack it right now. So taking all the information into account, I guess it's not that surprising that they were able to hack it. What's going to be more challenging is the general gaming community out there, the general hacking community, if they're able to find a workaround to make this thing work and hack it themselves. Google engineers have the luxury of using their Android-based system and understanding the background of it, the back end of it, how the coding works with it, and using all the dynamic intricacies with that to make it function. Whereas hackers have to read it and make sense of it and then hack it. And it's an extra step involved with it. And depending on the security and how they're able to do it, it remains to be seen on if this is something the average layperson would eventually be able to do. But it is exciting, and it does give some sort of hope for the PS Portal beyond just being a streaming device for the PlayStation 5. At this point, I think the PS Portal is outselling anything Sony expected. It's still hard to find one on the shelves right now, and they're still going for over MSRP on the secondhand market, and we're now almost, 6 months from the launch of the device? So that is pretty impressive, and there is still a heavy demand for these things. Just imagine if a hack does come out available to the general public where people can buy this thing off the shelf, update the software, put a little bit of hacking into it their own way, and then be able to wirelessly, unconnected to an internet, play PSP games on the PlayStation Portal. I feel like that would give this thing more life. People who are hating on this thing, RGT85, I'm looking at you, would say, hey, there's actually a reason to have one of these things. Now it's not just this stupid device that nobody needs. Now it's actually a tangible hardware that you can use functionally with PSP games that you can play wirelessly, not connected to the internet, and be able to play them without streaming them. That's something that a lot of people I know would love to have the luxury of doing. But as of right now, it's just a hack behind the scenes from Google engineers that has not released publicly. But I'm hopeful. This is at least some insight that it was able to be done, which is, I'll be honest, beyond what a lot of people imagined, specifically because nobody really knew what the onboard storage of this thing was. Many people assumed it was very minimal, like the minimal amount so that you could only have some minor updates from Sony, whereas 8 gigs is not huge, but still plenty enough to hold a couple PSP games and maybe even a whole library of them. PSP games aren't huge, so it does give potential to have more than just a PlayStation streaming device in your hands, and I think that is an exciting proposition. And while the hackers don't go into any of the details as far as if they could hack it and add other consoles or other emulators or how well they even run, because we don't even know if the processor could run these games well. It just shows a picture saying they added this game onto it and it works as a PSP game. Great, we got Grand Theft Auto. Okay, cool. How does it run though? There's a lot of questions that I have still, but this is an exciting first step. And assuming the games can be run at a normal frame rate and play well enough, I would be first one in line to try to see how I could hack this thing once a hack comes out for it that is generally available to the public. And that should be pretty exciting to everyone. Anyways, I'm going to leave the video right there. If you want more information or links to all the resources, check out smashjt.com. I will link this article in the description below. Let me know your thoughts on this, if you would hack your PlayStation Portal, if this is something that would entice you to buy one, or if you don't really care about the modding scene and it's not really your thing. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing. Smash,